a lot of people ask, oh, what does your mom do? And then, like, I'll tell them that, like, she's a mining engineer and she's in, like, mine rescue and stuff like that.
I'm Hensher. I'm married with 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. My son is 19 and my daughter is 16. So I'm a mining engineer. I work in town here for Glencore, and I'm a mine rescuer. If you see someone out in the community and they're wearing mine rescue equipment, you know, you go up to them and you go, so are you on mine rescue? You know, what's with the hat? I was working at the mill when I first joined mine rescue, which is a little bit unconventional. We don't have very many mine rescuers that don't come from the mines. Anyone who has a good human nature really wants to save lives. I think it's really part of humanity, right? You know, there would be nothing worse than standing back and watching something happen and not having the capacity to do something, right? Knowing that something can be done. So having the capacity to be able to do what you need to do to save a life is pretty empowering.
It's nice to see, like, that she does that, because, like, she's helping people out.
It's been such a positive experience for me, and she's really been surrounded by it. So when I was training for the competition, to be technician for the competition this past year, the BG4 was sitting in the living room, you know, for weeks on end, right? And so she saw it.
I've seen it, yeah, but I haven't been to any competitions. My mom sometimes, like, works on it in the living room, so I see it and it's pretty loud, so it's kind of annoying sometimes.
It's, you know, I had the book out and I was studying, and when I wasn't actually having my hands in the BG4, I was reading the material, I was reading the handbook, I was reading the technician's manual.
I don't know, sometimes I'll just be watching TV and then she'll be like, oh, I gotta do this now, so I gotta go up to my room, or I told her to go to the basement and do it, so she set up down there a couple times. But
I really want to encourage more women to go into mining, so I would love to see my daughter express an interest in that career, because I think we're still very underrepresented in the industry, and I think it would be great, you know, the more women we can have join the industry, the better. The more diversity, period, right? Diversity is always a good thing. So, okay, give it a shot. Stand up and try it.
It's pretty heavy, but I don't think it's heavier than my hockey gear.
No?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of built to, it's built to work in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made for working in, so. The biggest thing with mine rescue in terms of training is becoming comfortable wearing the breathing apparatus. That is the utmost important thing that we do in our mine rescue training. Before we say, yes, you're a mine rescuer, can you handle this? And so it's very physically intensive. The ultimate goal of that is that when you're in a real scenario, you're well prepared. At the end of most training sessions, everyone's giving each other a high five and saying, good job today. And, you know, it's a training session. It's, we weren't saving anyone's life at that moment, but yeah, it definitely helps create that bond. It's a family because we're all there for the right reasons, which are to help our co-workers in a time of need. Yes, I do consider myself a Drägerman. I don't think Drägerman has a gender affiliated to it. I've always called myself a Drägerman, and I have a pin that says Drägerman, and I was very happy to receive that. And you know, when we're in a team, we've got captain, 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, 5-man, 6-man. Our captain, when he was introducing everyone at the banquet, he said he had to practice, because he was so used to saying our 3-man and his wife, our 4-man and his wife. And so he had to say our technician and her husband. He doesn't work in the mining industry. He works locally here for the city. He's never even been underground. He has been to Dynamic Earth, but he's never been underground in a mine. And I've always wanted him to come underground just to see, because it's such a different atmosphere that I don't think you can comprehend until you've actually seen it. You know, the heavy equipment and the noise and the darkness. You kind of have an idea what it might be like, right? Because of Dynamic Earth.
You can go downstairs. There's another room you could go into, and it takes you down to the mine, and it shows you, like, what it's like now and what it used to be like, sort of, and stuff like that. And there's a couple machines down there it shows you. And there's a few things, like, also upstairs you can like control the machines too that are in the mind.
The first question on your mind whenever a call comes in is everybody safe? Is everybody accounted for? Whether I know them or not, I gotta say it doesn't really come to mind, because I think everybody down there has a family. Everybody down there has someone up top who's waiting for them.
So I remember hearing, well, I was like still half asleep, so like I remember hearing the phone ring, and then my mom was like, hello, like I remember her like asking who it was. And then I remember my dad waking up and asking who it was, and then my mom was like, okay, I gotta go, and then that's all I remember, because I don't think she knew I woke up. So I was just in my room, and then I fell back asleep.
No, most of the time the phone rings and I keep the phone beside my bed because it's my alarm clock. So I generally answer it pretty quick. So yeah, I definitely did not know she woke up in the middle of the night. I think it's kind of just because it's always sort of been there. It's kind of normal, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. You know, my son saw me grabbing my turnout gear, and yeah, the last thing he said to me was just be safe. They know that the time it takes, they give me that time, but they're also, you know, I think they're proud of me. I think they respect what I do, and they just know that it has to be done. So it doesn't take up so much time that it's really an issue. You make time for it.